Hey everyone, welcome to another video here on the Crush Crowdfunding YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here with me. I'm so excited to have you here, and I'm super duper psyched to dive into the topic that we're going to talk about today. Today, we're going to kind of look at things from the backer perspective. So as a little preview, a little sneak peek of what we're going to be talking about, we're actually going to be talking about the 5 different reasons why backers decide to back on crowdfunding, why backers decide to come to crowdfunding, come to Kickstarter, come to Indiegogo, and actually spend money on projects that 1, don't even exist on the market yet, and 2, on campaigns and campaigners that they might not even know. Your backer might be from a completely different country, all the way across the world, and they're contributing to help make your idea a reality, and you've never even met them, and the project doesn't even exist yet. So today we're gonna kind of take a look at things from the backer side. So let's get started. As I mentioned, there are actually 5 reasons why people actually come to crowdfunding platforms like Kickstarter, like Indiegogo, and just contribute money to projects. The main reason we want to talk about this particular topic, why people choose to back projects on crowdfunding platforms, is so that you as entrepreneur, you as the creator, you as the person in charge of the vision and kind of the strategy and execution of this whole entire crowdfunding project, can see things from the perspective of the backer and be able to make sure that your campaign is able to leverage all of these points to make your campaign seem attractive and seem really credible for people who are going to be contributing money and funds to your campaign. By understanding kind of the psychology behind backers, by understanding the psychology behind why people back these projects, why people actually spend money on Kickstarter, why people actually spend money on Indiegogo, you'll be able to create a campaign that actually tackles all 5 of these points, all 5 of these factors, and create a campaign that is so enticing and so convincing that people who come across your campaign, the millions of people who organically just surf and browse Kickstarter and organically surf and browse Indiegogo, they'll look at your campaign and just be like, wow, this campaign is blowing it out of the water. There's no way that I can't back this project. So really, that's why we're going through things from the backer perspective today, so that you as the creator can really get into understanding why people back and why people spend money on crowdfunding platforms, and how you can create a campaign that hits all these emotional and hits all these rational points so that they want to back your campaign. They want to support your campaign. So let's dig right in. The first reason that people back on crowdfunding campaigns is that they're just excited to see cool, new, awesome products on crowdfunding. They're just excited to see cool, new products coming to market, right? Like, these people who are backers on crowdfunding really just surf the internet, surf pages like Kickstarter, surf pages like Indiegogo, just to really discover awesome new ideas, awesome new products, awesome new ways to solve existing problems that are already in the world. They're looking for different projects, different ideas, different products that kind of tackle existing problems in a different way, in a cool way. Sure, there's already canoes out in the world. Sure, there are already, SUP, stand-up paddle boards out in the world. All this exists. But on crowdfunding, you see canoes and you see all these paddle boards that are foldable, right? Like origami versions of these paddle boards made from futuristic materials that makes it lightweight and extremely compact. So you can just put everything in the trunk of your car and you can head on out to the lake, to the beach, and kind of pop this all up like a little origami product and go out onto the water. Right? Like, it's a new and novel way to solve an existing problem. It's a new and novel look at things that are already on the market. When you're looking at drones, right? Drones were huge a few years back, huge. why did people come and back drones on crowdfunding, although there were tons of drones out in the market? Well, all these drones that were available on crowdfunding did a ton of cool new stuff. It was either the lightest drone, the thinnest drone, the drone with the longest battery life. There were so many cool things that these drones were able to do that just didn't exist on the market. And people who surf Kickstarter, people who surf Indiegogo are excited to just see things like that. The most cool, new, awesome products coming to market that will be the future market leaders. They're here to get the product now and get behind the product before everyone else in the market, the 99% of the market, has access to it. So with this information, what can you do as a creator, as a founder, as an entrepreneur? What you can do is just take this knowledge that people are interested in cool, new, novel things and make sure that your product is able to express that. The story is able to express that. The images is able to express that. The information that you provide, the gifts, the videos, the short little copy that you have on your page is able to express the idea that, hey, we know this has been done before, but guess what? We have this incredible new way to tackle this issue. We have an incredible new, more efficient way to solve your problem. Even if it comes to things like board games, right? Apples to apples, it's been around forever. But when Cards Against Humanity came onto Kickstarter, it took just the idea of apples to apples, right? The fact that someone puts down a card and everybody kind of puts in answers and someone chooses a winning answer, that's apples to apples. They took something that was tried and true in the market and put a different spin onto it. With Cards Against Humanity, it's basically apples to apples, the classic card game with, you know, a touch of dark humor, right? And that's just the cool factor. The reason people wanted to get it was because it's just a cool new way to spin a tried and true classic product. And so I encourage you, when you're looking at your product, what does this remind you of? What is this similar to? How can you relate this to something people have already seen in their lives? And how can you show the value, the additional value of your product to these people? Right? If it's a place to store your vitamins, how is your product better than anything else someone can find at GNC or Vitamin Shop? How is what you have able to convince someone to actually buy the product? How is it cooler? How is it more awesome? How does it better solve the problem than everything else that's on the market? That is my challenge to you. And that is how you're going to leverage this one reason why backers back campaigns on crowdfunding and get them to back your campaign. The second reason people back products on crowdfunding campaigns is because they found that your product solves a problem, their problem, much better than anything else out there in the market. And really, that is super key here, because crowdfunding is really about two things. It's about your product and the fact that you know exactly what your product is, what your product does, and what your product solves. And it's about the person, right? The community, the people, the audience behind the product. Those two things really come in to support this particular point, because by having them see that your product can solve their problem and solve their problem in a much more effective way than anything else out there, you'll be able to catapult yourself to the top of their awareness, top of their consideration, top of their needs and wants to actually buy and purchase your product and actually want to contribute money to your product. So again, these people are looking for solutions. People come to crowdfunding campaigns, people come to crowdfunding platforms looking for solutions. They're looking for something cool, which we talked about already, and they're looking for solutions. Maybe you figured out a new way to make headphones. You know, all the headphones that people use or those earbuds that people use that are wireless, maybe you figured out a way for those wireless earbuds to actually stay in your ears and they don't just fall out when you're running, or they fall out when you're like bending down or doing this or that, right? Maybe you figured out a way to solve that core problem. And so that's what people are looking for. The fact that your product solves a problem and the fact that you can make sure to tell people in a way that they can actually understand it. So the best way to leverage this knowledge as a crowdfunder is to really understand like what problem your product solves and be able to clearly communicate it in 3 easy steps. Like, what can your product do? And how can it solve that problem? If you can't say it in 3 easy steps, it's too complicated. People won't have the bandwidth to just comprehend what you're trying to say because you've been working on this product for years or months, right? You know everything inside and out about this product. You have to convince them in a very short time that this product is exactly what they need to solve a problem that they've always had. And so that is your job as an entrepreneur. This is how you can leverage that point. This is how you can leverage the fact that people come to crowdfunding platforms to find solutions, find new and novel solutions for their problems. This is how you can leverage that to make sure that people want to back your project. You want to show them exactly what it is, how it solves the problem, and why this matters to them. So the third reason that people back projects on crowdfunding is because a friend or a family member has launched a campaign. And this is honestly one of the biggest things and one of the best things that you can do as a campaigner to leverage this one particular point. You know, as I've mentioned before, 90% of the work in crowdfunding happens before you even press the launch button. Because on launch day, if you haven't done that 90% of work before, when launch day comes, you're going to fall flat. There's not going to be anybody coming to your page. There's not going to be anybody coming to your campaign and contributing money or backing your project or making, that needle of that funding goal move up and up and up. And so the one core thing that you as an entrepreneur and you as a creator can control is your own personal networks, right? Your friends, your family, your acquaintances. That's the only thing that you can control. And it's honestly your job to leverage these personal networks in order to help them help you, right? A lot of people who we have relationships with, they want to help us out. You probably want to help out your friend, your family whenever they need it too, right? Like it's not too much to ask to say, hey, this is a project I've been working on for a long time. This is kind of like my life's work. And would you be able to support me on the first day? Would you be able to commit to supporting $5, $10, $100 on the first day so that I will be able to take this product and meet a mission, meet a goal, bring this product to life and just solve people's problems all around the world and bring to life a project that has ramifications that are just much larger than myself, right? So as an entrepreneur, that's what you can do. You can make sure to leverage your personal networks, your friends, your families, your acquaintances, maybe even the person that you haven't talked to since freshman year of high school. They might have the problem that you're completely looking to solve and your product is solving. But if you're afraid to reach out, if you're afraid to talk to them, they're not going to come and support you. They're not going to know that you exist. They're not going to know this is around until you've had to spend millions of dollars in advertising. When it comes to a crowdfunding campaign, I absolutely recommend you to reach out to people in your networks and do it early. Tell them what you're working on. Tell them your mission. Tell them your story. Tell them why you're doing this. Tell them that you want to make a difference in the world through the product that you're launching. And I guarantee you, so many people will be involved. Because really, that's a big reason why people contribute on crowdfunding. A giant reason, because their friend or their family is launching on crowdfunding and they just want to be there to support them, to be there to just help them out in having them reach their dreams and their goals. So, as someone has said, I'm not sure who, but it's a famous quote, so I'm sure you know it. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So if you don't go out and ask people, you've already missed those opportunities because you never even know if it would come to life or not. But if you just went out, just made the ask, at least you'll know that you've done it. At least you'll know that you've done everything that you can in your power to get people to come and help support you on your campaign. Because this alone, this network of friends and family will start you off on the right foot when it comes to the next 30 to 60 days of your campaign. The fourth reason why people back on crowdfunding is because they want to give it to someone. They want to give that cool thing to someone else they know, a friend, a family, a sibling, a son, a daughter. What you can do as a crowdfunding, because, people just love giving gifts. They love receiving gifts. They love giving gifts. What you can do is make sure that there are ways for them to provide this as a gift even before the product gets made, even before the product comes to life. For example, if you're launching a product, close to Christmas, close to holidays or birthdays or something, make sure that you're able to provide people with something like maybe a certificate, like, hey, Merry Christmas. Here's a product that I've gotten for you. It'll arrive 3 months down the line. Or here's a product I, backed for you for your birthday, but it'll arrive in 6 months down the line, right? That's one example. So remember, people really like giving gifts. And so you want to be able to include this type of language, include this type of conversation into people, right? For example, most of crowdfunding consists of men. About 70% of Kickstarter and Indiegogo are all, men between the ages 25 to 35 contributing to these campaigns, contributing to these projects, right? If you're trying to launch a product for women, maybe it's wise to actually present it in a way that, hey, you as a male friend, a boyfriend, a husband, what have you, can actually take this product, contribute to it, and offer this as a gift. There's always different ways to spin a product and make sure that your product makes sense to them, the gifters, the people who want to give products as gifts. And the last reason why people like backing crowdfunding campaigns is because they just want to be part of something that's bigger than themselves. They want to be part of the founding story of a company, the founding story of a product, the founding story of the next billion-dollar company. Like, imagine the people who backed Oculus, the VR goggles on Kickstarter. Imagine them. They were actually one of the people who helped make Oculus come to life, and then Facebook came and gobbled them up for like billions of dollars. Those people who backed the project was part of that founding story. How cool is that? Or like Peloton, for example, the people who backed Peloton, the like in-home bike thing with the live video classes, like the people who initially backed that, how cool do you think that is now? Because right now they've actually IPO'd in the stock market and they're worth, millions of dollars now. Like, how cool to be in the founding story of a product like that. And so that's one more reason why people want to back you on crowdfunding. They just want to be part of something bigger than themselves. So you as a founder, this one's honestly probably the most easy thing that you can do, is to just share your story. Share why you're doing what you're doing. Share what the reason was that got you into making this, why you are becoming an entrepreneur, like what you hope to do, what you dream to do, what's happening behind the scenes, like how are you figuring out which type of material to use for your product between material A versus material B, like what is actually going on? What's your office look like? There's so many things that you can do and say and showcase that make sure that people feel involved in your project and involved in your founding journey, because that's what some people just want, just to be included in a story that is bigger than themselves, in a company, in a journey that is larger than their own lives. Those are the 5 reasons why people back on crowdfunding. 1, because there's cool projects and they're just really excited about backing something cool. 2, the product solves a problem that they can't find solutions for anywhere else. 3, their friends and family with someone who's actually launching the project on crowdfunding. 4, they want to give this product to someone else. And 5, they really just want to be part of a founding story that is much larger than themselves and much bigger than their own lives. And so with those things in mind, with those 5 categories and 5 reasons in mind, there's so many ways that you can make sure that your project hits all these 5 really real reason people back projects on crowdfunding, and make sure that your project is presented in the most effective way for people to come and actually see your page and be like, wow, that's a cool product. Wow, that solves a problem. Wow, they're my friend and family and I'm gonna want to back it. And 4, wow, I want to give this gift to someone else too. And 5, like, this is such a cool story. When do you want to be part of this person's founding story and help them get to the next stage of their life, right? There's so many things that you as a founder, as a creator, as an entrepreneur can do for your crowdfunding campaign just to make sure to hit all these 5 points. So thank you for being with me here today on this YouTube video. I really appreciate you being here and listening to me talk about why people back on crowdfunding. And if you like the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and leave any comments or questions below. I'm happy to answer any questions, and I will see you next time in the next video.